Hi everyone, Bill Lethman here for MoneyEvolution.com. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how do you know if you have a financial plan. So this is something that we get questions about all the time here in our office, and a lot of people that think they have a financial plan, or maybe even some people that have actually gone out and hired somebody to do a financial plan for them, may not actually have what we consider to be a true financial plan. So in this video, I'm going to talk about 7 specific things that I think you need to have, or 7 things that you need to understand with any financial plan that you're going to do, whether you do it on your own or you're hiring somebody to do that for you. So number 1 is going to be, is your retirement on track? Now this is something that hopefully pretty much any financial plan that you do should be able to answer this question. In other words, if you put in some variables like how much money you have saved up right now for your retirement, how much money you're putting away on a regular basis, maybe in your 401k plans or IRA accounts, and then apply some hypothetical growth rates and inflation rates along with your future retirement expenses, you should be able to come back and have a pretty good idea whether you're on the right track or not. Number 2 is that your financial plan should also be able to account for variability of income and expenses. Now this is something that only cash flow based financial plans would probably offer this. What I mean by this is if you think about your income and expenses while you're working, things were probably pretty steady. You had some income coming in from a job or maybe from a business, and that was probably pretty steady from year to year, hopefully going up a little bit. Your expenses were also probably pretty steady as well. But as you go into retirement, that all changes. For example, you might retire and not be eligible to collect Social Security right away. So you may have a gap where 2 or 3 years or 5 years before you're even eligible to take your Social Security benefits for some people. You might have a pension that doesn't kick in right away. You also might have some expenses that can change as well. Some of you may be retiring and maybe you still have some expenses related to your kids that hopefully will move out and be on their own someday, or a mortgage that's going to be paid off maybe in the first couple of years of retirement. So your financial plan should also be able to take into account the variability of those income and expenses so you can understand your gap. And that brings me to number 3 is know your retirement gaps. So as you're planning this out, you want to really understand where those gaps are. And specifically, you want to know how much money you might need to be able to take out or might have to take out from your retirement accounts to meet some of those retirement expenses. And again, because of the variability of the income and expenses, that can change pretty dramatically from one year to the next. So you want to have a pretty good idea of what those are. Number 4 is you want to understand your tax rates. And again, what we're talking about here is throughout retirement, as different income and expenses kick in, your tax rate may also be changing. So one of the things we see happening all the time, for example, is people retire and then they elect to take Social Security benefits right away at 62 as soon as they're eligible. And at the same time, they're delaying taking money maybe out of their retirement accounts. What they don't really oftentimes understand is that you might have a few years early on in retirement where you have these low tax years, sometimes pretty low depending on your situation. And so what we try to look for there is we look for those low tax years, and we can start to implement some strategies. Maybe one of the strategies there is to delay Social Security benefits a little bit longer to fully maximize that, or to get a little bit better Social Security benefit. Maybe it's a Roth conversion. So maybe during those low tax years, we look at shifting some money from a taxable traditional retirement account into a Roth retirement account and take advantage of those low tax years. So understanding where those tax rates may change from one year to the next is very important. Number 5 is understanding your required minimum distribution. So if you don't know it already, at age 70 and a half, the IRS makes you take out what are called required minimum distributions from your traditional retirement accounts. And if you don't understand what those are, a lot of times people can get blindsided by this. And it goes into number 4 again, understanding that tax rate. But if you're delaying to take money out of your retirement accounts and all of a sudden at 70 and a half, the IRS is forcing you to take a bigger chunk out, that could push you up into a higher tax bracket. The other thing that it could do too is it could also force your Medicare expenses to go up too, because your Medicare premiums are tied to your income. So understanding what those required minimum distributions are, maybe doing a little preemptive planning is going to be very important to optimizing those retirement resources. Number 6 is when to collect Social Security. So again, looking at ways to not only maximize Social Security, but understanding how that fits into your overall cash flow situation, what it's doing to your tax rates, and what it may be doing to some of the other components of your retirement is very important, and your financial plan should be able to map that out. And then finally, number 7 is looking at what-if scenarios. So retirement's got a lot of variables going on, and it's all about trade-offs. And as you're going into retirement, maybe trying to make things work, you may be thinking about things like, well, maybe we should downsize our house, and how does that play out within our retirement plans? If we reduce the expenses on our house, can we retire a little bit earlier? Can we have a little bit bigger budget for traveling and things like that? What if one of us passes away and we lose part of our retirement income? How does that play out? Being able to run those what-if scenarios is going to be a big factor for doing not only some planning, but also doing some stress testing of your retirement plans as well. So there you have it. Those are 7 things that I think you should know and understand with any financial plan that you're doing. If you want to learn a little bit more about the financial planning that we do here at our office, we do something called a Wealth Vision Comprehensive Financial Plan. We'll put a link right below the notes here, and there should be a link that you can learn a little bit more about Wealth Vision. And if you like, you can schedule a free, no obligation introductory call with me. We usually spend about 10 or 15 minutes and learn a little bit about your situation and find out if Wealth Vision is something that's right for you. And if it is, we can talk about next steps to go forward. Thanks, and I'll see you back in my next video. Have a great day.